All right, welcome back to Tall Guy Gaming. I'm your host Harry, and we're back in Serenity Now, my tropical park that I'm building in sandbox mode. And right now, if you actually watch that intro with that really cool music, you'll notice I actually already finished the other side of the entranceway with the foliage. So now, right now, I'm just copying, well, not really copying, but, basically trying to make another side over here. I kind of picked out a couple of these trees. I like this tree that, I forgot their names. There's one called an African tree, I think I remember. I'm not going to be, picking that many trees inside the park. Like obviously the alpine ones won't look good and stuff like that. So I had to find some new trees that I'm not used to because, again, this is the first time I'm doing any sort of tropical thing with Planet Coaster. These beet trees are pretty cool. This one kind of annoys me because it's like it's cool that it's laying down and it'll be cool like, on a mountain and stuff like that. But right now I needed to stand up, so that's what I did. I don't really, again, I don't really come in these things with ideas. Like I kind of just, put stuff down, see how it looks. If I don't like it, I erase it. And then I kind of just go from there. So like, I have an idea of like, the backstage is going to be right behind these big flower beds. But again, I don't know what backstage is going to look like. I don't know how big it's going to be. So, I really don't plan things ahead. I like the more natural feel and I feel like some of my parks flow better that way where they don't really look like, boxy, very, hard angle parks all over the place. Like if you notice when I do later on start building the park, I rarely ever, put the path on grid like I did in the front here because I needed to be, symmetrical and stuff like that, and that's fine. But once I get like out of the main plaza and stuff and I getting into the, the areas where you're walking around, it's usually just, regular flowing paths, and I just like the way that feels so much better than just getting all these boxy hard angles and stuff like that. I just don't like it. But if you do that, it's totally cool. Don't unsubscribe. But right now I'm just putting down some of the tropical bushes, and I noticed that like once I started getting them down, they're kind of, I mean, unless you like double and triple them up, they're very sparse, I guess. So what I did was started adding some of these like these bushes. I think they're like forest bushes or something like that, to basically give some of these tropical plants a little bit of depth. So you basically just don't see right through them when you're actually like at guest level. Right here I'm adding some rocks, just for decorative to break things up. I'm probably going to be using these tropical rocks and maybe those sand looking rocks, and then the second set of rocks. I don't know what they're called. But those are probably the three rocks I'm going to stick with in the whole entire park. And then just here, I'm just dressing up the rock. Obviously you don't want to just, drop a rock and not have anything around it because it's just going to look weird. So right now I'm just using this little green leafy bush, which I love using it. And in this park, it's going to look really great because I could use it as like an overgrown plant and stuff. But a lot of times I use it like this, where I sink it down, really far into the ground. And, you'll get that feeling of like, a little bit of like little grass, overgrown grass and stuff like that. This bush is really good too when I, change the color to the green and green, so they're both greens match. I use this a lot too, and it also will help like give you, even though it's all green back there, there's different color greens, and, it looks a lot more interesting than, having the same thing over and over again. Now I'm basically just, copying the plants from the other side. I like this petunia flower, and what I do here is I like to actually have it so it looks like it's so big it, overgrew the wall and it's actually like hanging down. So what I do is, I don't do it on all of them, just I think one or two on this side and then one or two on the other side too. And I think it just looks interesting, like, like it's more natural looking where, again, I don't really like putting plants and, a grid and, matching it all around, because it just doesn't look natural that way. Like, when you're watering a plant, sometimes you're like, oh, why is this one doesn't grow as much as this one, So, like, that's how I kind of do my foliage. I don't, I don't mind it, like, have it like this. They all have the idea, basically 2 or 3 of these, the first bushes, and then these rose bushes, there's maybe like 2 or 3, surrounding them on the outside. Again, they have the same idea. They just don't look exactly the same. Like over here, I add like, a couple extra ones. And then the same thing with the rose bushes. I add this bush here because, when you sink the rose bush down, it basically looks like sticks are coming out of the dirt. So basically to give the rose bush, a little more, I guess, weight or, whatever, more leaves and stuff like that, I add this inside the rose bush. So it actually looks like the, roses aren't coming out of the dirt by themselves. And then, now I'm just adding the begonia flowers around. I just made it like a light green, and then the dark green it comes with. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, nothing's really perfect. Like even the line where, the potted soil meets the grass isn't, the same. It's a man-made park. Like, it's not made by robots, so nothing's going to be perfect. Close enough is close enough. This is just a little filler, nothing crazy. I like the way it came out, and I really, it just, gives another color. Over here, I added the fence already for the backstage. So this is actually just like 2 fences on top of each other. It's not 100% 2 on top of each other. It's like 1 and like maybe 2/3. I didn't want it like super high. I didn't know if I was going to do a wall here or a fence. I kind of like the way the fence looks, but I'm sure if over time I don't like the fence, I might change it to like a wall. And then if I do change it to the wall's probably going to be like a green. I don't know if you ever been to, like, I'm sure some of you have been to Disney. In Disney, they have these colors called Go Away Green, and it's basically to divert your attention. It's not like an eye-catching green, and it's supposed to just be in the background, so you obviously just don't pay attention to it, and most of the time you won't see it. So if I do change it to a wall later on, it'll probably be that, like, Go Away Green and, just a regular wall. But that's probably going to be the start of backstage right there. And now I'm just, lining up these temple wall pieces as the planter, just, to get it to the outside there and basically finish off the whole plaza right there. When it gets further in the back of this, like, big planter, obviously they wouldn't take as good care as they would the front. So, the back part, I just kind of added a couple messy bushes and stuff like that, and just stuff to fill it out a little bit more. So when you're actually walking in, it wouldn't look so barren back there. And again, it is what it is. Just throw some stuff down, and I always make sure to use the terrain paint tool, the brown around all the bushes and stuff to make it feel like there's dirt there. And the plants are actually growing from dirt. Obviously, grass wouldn't grow underneath your plant if the plant is covering all the sunlight. So right here, I'm just doing the terrain paint tool with the brown, and then I end up using the rock that comes with this map. It's called rock, but again, it looks like mud. So I just use that sparingly here and there to break up, give it 3 different textures. Over here, I'm noticing this tree is living inside this rock, so I had to move the tree out a little bit, and then I noticed that beech tree in the back isn't even in the ground, so I had to push it down a little bit, make it actually grow from the ground. So I think that's about it with the side planters. Like I said, I already had the other one done, now I'm finishing this one up. So the front entrance is coming along pretty good. I think it has enough, like, again, I didn't want to make something beautiful or eye-catching. If you notice, I didn't even put any real palm trees back there because I want the focus to be on the centerpiece. But now getting over here to the season pass, season ticket holder booth, I actually made this frame off camera, and I like the way the frame looked, and it looked really cool, but I honestly didn't know what to do with it. So right here, I'm just extending the frame on the part that flows upward. Just to even it out. And then again, I honestly didn't know what to do. I thought it looked really cool, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna add wood to it. So the wood I add to it Well, first I got to fix this planter. I just get rid of it and raise, the terrain. Just, fixing this part. No one's gonna see it, but who cares? Doing some terrain paint and whatever. But if you haven't tried it yet, I actually done this before, where I need like a wood roof and one that could move around, and instead of just using like wood planks and stuff like that, you could use these double doors. And what I do is I spin them around, and then the back side of the double doors is flat wood. And right now I'm just lining it up with the existing roof, and then I just copy it over, and I think it actually looks really good. It kind of sucks I made that whole frame and I covered it up, but stuff happens. Like I said, I don't think these things out. It just, I just go and I do. Right there, I'm just, moving the middle one so it doesn't have the Z fighting that I hate. And then I copy it over as a group, and then basically just, swing it on the rest of the roof here. And then I decided to make a little bit of an overhang, because I thought that would look cool. So I actually do the overhang, and at first I thought it was a little bit long, and then I reel it in a little bit, and to be honest with you, I barely brought it in a little. So it is what it is. I thought it looked really cool like that. But then after that, I was like, all right, it needs these wooden structures, to come out to, actually show it's supporting that roof. You gotta have some kind of support. So I just pull all these wooden poles out, and then just line it up as best I could. I don't know if I did a great job, but it looks kind of cool. And then I just add the two sides to make them a little bit longer so they match the rest of this roof. And I gotta say, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm sure I'll maybe do another roof like this inside the park somehow or some way. But again, if you never tried, using doors, you could use the other wooden doors. As you've seen me use wooden, the windows before. So I've used windows before, and I use those as wood structures. And, they look really good if you just turn them around. Right now I'm just, adding a couple plants. Of course, there's so many plants in this front park. Don't worry, the whole park isn't going to be littered with plants. It's just the front, Once we get your $100 and you're in, we don't care about that much plants. All right, so this will be like the door to part of the backstage, for the workers to go into the front plaza, which in the game they don't do, which I don't like, because if you ever played, sometimes they'll litter outside in your plaza, and then even if the guy's on the roster, the custodian, he ain't gonna go out there, so you have to actually literally pick him up, put him out there, and as he walks back in, he'll clean it up. But that's a little annoying to me, but maybe it's just me. Right here I'm just making a staff only sign. Again, I try to make everything as real as possible. So, you got to put a little sign out so the Planko people just don't walk back there. Not like they're going to, but, it is what it is. And then after this, I think I just add a couple more plants over here just to, make the side look a little more presentable. Again, no one's going down here, but, it doesn't mean you can't decorate an area that people don't walk down. You got to figure your staff's gonna walk down there and they're gonna look at it, and you don't want them all mopey and depressed, because they have to walk down these dark alleys and hallways. So you can throw a plant like this little bush here and there. It doesn't cost you much money and it looks really cool. But yeah, I think that's about it with the season ticket booth. I actually added a couple signs I'll show you later on when I built it off screen. So like I said before, the season ticket booth, it will be participating with the other parks I built. So if you buy a season ticket for Serenity Now, this park, it's good at Carla's Gardens and it's good at Mountainside Escape, the other park I'm building for the mini park contest. So later on, when I show you a close-up, you'll see that it actually has the names of those parks there. Now I'm doing the roof here. I never really built with this roof yet, again, because I haven't done tropical, and I hate how it literally only gives you like 3 or 4 roof pieces. This is the only slope this roof comes with. You can't change the color of this roof. I like the way the roof looks, but I would have rather had it, you know, maybe a little bit duller. But again, it is what it is. It's in the game. I have to deal with it. I'm going to try to do my best to probably not use this roof as much as possible, just because it's just so annoying to build with. Like, even, you know, you gotta put the trim pieces on the top, which are no big deal. Kind of annoying, but whatever, you could put them in. The part I was having problem with coming up is that corner piece in the middle that like slopes down on both sides. They don't have a trim piece that actually fits that. So like there's a couple trim pieces left and right, which you think would be fine, but you can't angle it actually down. So when I line it up a little bit later, it's way too high for the actual roof slope. Unless I'm doing it wrong and someone wants to help me, leave a comment below, but I think I'm probably just gonna like maybe put a piece of wood there and try to color it as close as I can with the actual roof later on, maybe before the next Let's Build video. But like, as you can see, I just couldn't angle it, and I just gave up, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then the same thing with the outer pieces. A lot of these roofs, I don't know if you guys know, they really don't line up good with the buildings. So most of my roofs, and I'll do it later, I actually like separate them from the building. That way I can actually move them wherever I want. And then, you know, it's a lot better that way than actually just, you know, plopping it on top. But these little overhanging pieces, you know, are pretty essential on most roofs, so you don't get that, you know, roof and wall meeting. You know, you want like a little bit of an overhang. Again, I was trying to move it so it actually covers up that corner, because there's actually no actual corner piece. So unless there is and I just didn't see it, I'm sure there is. And if there is, someone tell me. But there probably is. I just haven't seen it yet, because it's like there's no way they're gonna leave this whole piece like open. And I think I did it on the other side, but I couldn't figure it out. I actually went to the other side and looked. So maybe I'll have to go back before the next episode and figure something out. But that should be it for the guest services, you know, right now for the guest services building. I'll do more of the interior next time, and we'll definitely get the front overhang done, you know, maybe with the actual sign for the park that says Serenity Now. So yeah, right here, I'm just, like I said before, I'm just actually separating the whole entire roof. That way I could actually move it any way I want on the building, you know, because again, I don't think it lines up that great in this game. And then also it actually helps too that if you have the roof as one piece, you could, you know, raise it in the sky. That way you could actually build the interior, and then when you're done, you just drop the roof back down again. You know, to build the interior with the roof on is really hard, and I wouldn't suggest it. But yeah, that's about it. That wraps up this episode of episode number 4, Serenity Now. This is what we built today. We got both sides of the entranceway done with flowers and trees. We finished up the season ticket booth, and as you can see here, I'll focus in on the actual thing. It says, you know, participating theme parks, Carla's Gardens, Mountainside Escape. So, you know, I added that. The season ticket sign I added, and then also this part here too, I added the balcony or porch or patio for the that'll be the office inside the guest services booth. That won't be for guests, that's just for the people who work here. So I guess that's it. I think the front entrance is almost done. Hopefully next episode we'll have the sign done, and the whole big building will be completely done with turnstiles and whatever else I could think of. So I guess join me in episode 5 when I get to it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.